Good day, ma'am. I'm John Hussein from Charlie 1, and my topic for today is all about metaphors of globalization. To understand metaphors of globalization, let's first discuss the term metaphor. What is metaphor? It is a figure of speech comparing two unlike things without using like or as. It is used to describe an object or action in a way that isn't literally true, but helps explain an idea or make a comparison by using symbol. Example, her eyes were diamonds. Ang metaphor po dun is yung dinidescribe niya po yung eye na mukhang diamond. Now that we are clear with metaphor, let's discuss about the term globalization. Here are some authors with their definition of globalization. Anthony Giddens. Globalization for him means that we are all increasingly living in a world where individual, groups, and nations are interdependent. Interdependent or interdependence is the state of being dependent upon one another. Next is Martin Core. Globalization is what we in the third world have for several centuries called colonization. Colonization can be defined as the process of establishing foreign control over target territories or people for the purpose of cultivation, often through establishing colonies and possibly by settling them. Next is Martin Albro and Elizabeth King. They are both sociologists. Globalization for them is the process by which the people of the world are integrated into a world society. In other words, globalization describes the process by which the world has become more economically, politically, socially, and culturally interconnected over time. Outsourcing, free trade, and worldwide supply chains are all examples of globalization in business and some of the factors that makes countries connected nowadays. One are air travel, international trade agreements, legal treaties, and most especially internet. Since here were lots of authors who give description to globalization, I will present to you three conceptual metaphors that will help you identify the start of globalization. They are solid, liquid, and flow, characteristic of these symbols. And how do they relate to globalization? Solid are hard objects with hard surface. They can't easily move and are considered barriers because of their nature. A state of matter with fixed shape and volume. Partides are close packed so they can vibrate but not flow. Can be either natural or man-made. Ang examples po ng natural solids are landforms and bodies of waters. Man-made barriers include Berlin Wall, imaginary lines such as Nine Dash, line used on maps, territorial claims, and Great Wall of China, which protects of people from barbarians and also prevent Chinese from going out of their country. With this often connection outside is hardly established. Solid symbolize traditional community. It is the opposite of modernization and industrialization. People either did not go anywhere, or did they not venture very far from where they were born and raised. Much the same could be said of most objects, tools, food, etc. Furthermore, some people didn't move very far, neither did information. The exchange of products and information were only circulating with the community or countries, and there is limited interaction. In other words, solid is a barrier with limited interaction. Next is liquid. Liquid is no definite shape. Take the shape of its container. Particles are free to move over each other, but are still attracted to each other. Liquid can reach place once the barrier is removed. The explanation of liquid is It symbolized the start of modernization and industrialization. An example of this is China's Silk Road. This describes the intricate of web, land, and sea routes connecting East and Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, Central Asia, the Middle East, East Africa, and Europe. The network began the Han Dynasty's expansion into Central Asia around 114 BCE. This is when Imperial Envoy Zhang Quan was commissioned to explore the unknown lands beyond the region in search of potential trading partners and allies. The information of goods gathered by this expedition is piqued Chinese interest and prompted formal diplomatic and commercial dispatch, as well as protect the rocks with soldiers and extension of the Great Wall. Globalization starts when an interconnection is formed from two different places over or a person. Nowadays, of a wide range of technological advancement in transportation, communication, internet, they can move across the globe far more readily. Next is flow. Flow is the movement of liquid can be attained when liquid is released from a container. When liquid starts to flow, it will reach several places. Flow is an act or moving of running smoothly, a movement of water, or the continuous moving of ideas, stories, etc. Flow symbolizes the intensive interaction. This describes any sort of domestic, cross-border, and broader international movement of goods, services, capital, and people. An example of these are free trade. This takes place to satisfy material demands ranging far from materials to finished good and all intermediate goods in between. Flows are mainly supported by maritime shipping with port infrastructures acting as the main gateways. But airports play an important role in the trade of high value of goods. There be passengers migration, mainly symmetrical flows of people taking place for a variety of reasons, most of them related to tourism or jobs, OFWs, with air transportation being the dominant mode of supporting such flows. Letter C. Information, telecommunications. The complex and extensive flows of information used for communication, power exchange, online orders, and symbolic exchange. Education, information flows can both take physical, parcels, and non-physical form, which are dominantly articulated by a network of global cities. A much better example for this one is the BPO companies, or what we know as call centers. After the liquid process of globalization, flow describes the continuous interaction or movement of goods, services, or people all around the globe. Solid described as closed, liquid is described as open, flow described as circulation. Globalization of one's country can be described metaphorically either as solid, liquid, or flow. That is all, ma'am. Thank you.